Capitalism, one of the most misunderstood and stigmatized concepts in politics. The funny thing is, the ones who are supposed to be for capitalism sell it about as well as trying to get a friend to go on a blind date with someone who's really got that inner beauty. And that's what really matters, isn't it? Hey, wait, where you going?
I think what's happening. Propaganda.
Okay, the wealthy are stigmatized for whatever reasons. We won't get into all those reasons, but for some reason, the wealthy are always the bad guys, as if the poor have the corner on being virtuous. The wealthy haven't broken into my home. Poor people have, though. More violent crimes is committed by the poor than by the wealthy. The poor rape, too, and more often. Then the bleeding heart liberals will try to say that the economic disparity is what causes these things. Well, that contradicts this idea that the poor are somehow more virtuous than the rich. And if the poor are somehow more virtuous, then low-income areas should always be the safest places to live. And the neighborhoods with all the rich folks should be the most dangerous places to live. Because the poor are just better people who care about others and each other's property. Way more than the rich do, right? Now, I'm not saying that the rich are better people. I'm just trying to follow the so-called logic of the bogus liberal narrative. But as it is, the rich are deemed the evil people, and some rich people are. And the thing associated with rich people is capitalism. But here's where Republicans do themselves an injustice. As the party that's supposed to be pro-capitalism, they'll try to call out the hypocrisy of wealthy left-wingers, saying capitalism made them wealthy, yet they hate capitalism. Capitalism did not make them wealthy. What made them wealthy is them knowing what to do with their talent, good marketing, and so on. Let me explain capitalism to anybody who's ever received a paycheck. For you academic capitalists out there who are going to send me comments to correct me and tell me, well, actually, so shut up. Your so-called genius concerning capitalism has done a snot-poor job of defending capitalism, and the country has been sinking deeper into socialism for decades. Anyway, when you get your paycheck and you're looking at that juicy gross pay and you're like, dang, and a smile starts to stretch across your face and you're thinking about rent paid, bills paid, and you'll have some to put into your savings and be able to have some fun with, tithe off the top with, and be charitable with, that's capitalism. Gross pay equals capitalism. But then your smile turns upside frown as you look over to your net pay and you see the chunks that the state and federal government chomped out of your check. And you're like, dang. And you start counting on your finger app on your smartphone to calculate how much you got jacked. That's socialism. Net pay equals socialism.
Just got paid, baby. Who are you? Well, hi. I'm the state government. Looks like you just got paid. Yeah, man. That's fantastic. Thank you. Man, what the dog? Who are you? Oh, I'm from the federal government. Oh, it's like ice cream. Well, this is gonna melt away so fast. Oh, by the way. Man, what'd you do that for? Oh, no, that wasn't me. That was conservatives. Oh, is that right?
Some will try to make themselves feel better by thinking, well, at least I get a refund, as the government regurgitates a little bit back to you what they weren't supposed to take from you in the first place. I don't really know when America got to enjoy capitalism, at least up until the 16th Amendment was laid in, which totally contradicts the Constitution and violates our right to property. So when people talk about people being wealthy because of capitalism, that's not exactly true. When wealthy people get their profits, capitalism has nothing to do with people getting profits. It's only capitalism when the government can't lay claim to your profits. When you get your money and the government gets to take some of it, that's not capitalism. It is also not capitalism when wealthy people put their money in tax shelters and offshore accounts. That is not capitalism, because in a capitalistic economy, you wouldn't have to hide your money from the government because the government would be held to the illegality of violating our right to property. People have been scared into believing that the rich have to be taxed so the poor can survive. I mean, how are we supposed to make it if the government doesn't force the rich to accommodate the poor? And these people almost always vote Democrat. And the Democrat Party is all about comfort at the forced expense of others. The Democrats also said, how are we supposed to get rich if we can't force people to work for us for free? The Democrat Party, in one form or another, has always been about policies that come at the forced expense of others, and it's always wrong. Anti-capitalistic liberals insist that if we don't tax people, then the poor will starve, etc. Taxing people are keeping people in a state of poverty as it is. Capitalism allows people to save a little money. It allows businesses to have more hiring power, to make more jobs available for people to work their way out of poverty, and greatly reduces businesses and government from getting into crony capitalism bed with each other. Capitalism reduces corruption and greed, but it's hard to tell people that when one of our greatest champions for capitalism, Rush Limbaugh, describes Steve Jobs as a true capitalist because he cut charities on people. I've heard him say this on more than one occasion. Cutting money off from charity doesn't describe capitalism at all. Socialism does, because it subtracts what you could be giving. And the state takes that money under the supposition that they're going to help the poor. And all they do is make the poor tolerant of being poor and controls their anger by directing it at the Republicans. Capitalism yields more monies available to be charitable with. Malfonso Rachel was donation, and the lefties try to recite things like money is the root of all evil. I've seen people get this verse wrong all the time. It's the love of money that's the root of all evil. Loving money is evil, not money itself. If money was evil, God wouldn't accept it as an offering. The Bible also says to not steal or covet. And if you're coveting someone else's wealth and demanding that the government steal it for you to take advantage of some of it, then I'd say you're as guilty of loving money as anybody. Hey, wait, where you going?